What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1.
Today we're back to answer more questions from you guys in another installment of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And that is what Arok9 has done. He asks, how much has life changed for the average Imperial citizen from the Crusade to the current era? Really good question.
Yeah. So when you're thinking about the Crusade, you're talking about Warhammer 40K-ish, and to the current era, they've advanced a lot. Back then, humanity was pretty much imprisoned by a bunch of Xenos. Yep. And the Emperor was like, we need to make the Great Crusade to free humanity so they could govern themselves and prosper.
So in a lot of ways, think of it as kind of like, really you're thinking of the Age of Strife and the liberation of the human empire during the Crusade. Yeah. There's a lot of turmoil, a lot of conflict going on as the Emperor's expeditionary fleets explored the galaxy and then eventually liberated all these what is it called? People. Mm-hmm. But then the people obviously didn't like it. There was a lot of revolts, there was a lot of pacification, because they were used to having their own control. And here comes the Emperor saying, no, join the Imperium.
Essentially what happened in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, well, here's the Empire. You're now under the rule of essentially Palpatine. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So exactly the same, situation. Now, in terms of living conditions, it improved in the sense that there is a steady stream of resources, kind of.
I guess, yeah.
Because in the 42nd millennium, there is established agri-worlds, there is established forge worlds, all that kind of stuff. It's easier for planetary governors to know where the goods are coming from. Mm-hmm. Does that always happen? Is that always equally distributed between all the Imperial citizens? No. Life in the Imperium sucks.
No matter when.
Yeah. The big difference is that during the Great Crusade, it was that weird moment of newfound, people are trying to figure out exactly what's going on, what planet is going to be doing what, and things like that.
But for the most part, for your average citizen, nothing really changed. If you worked in a manufactorum, you're basically just working for a different owner, but you're still busting your ass at a manufactorum.
Yeah. Now, there has been some changes as far as, because it's 10,000 years, and in those 10,000 years, stagnation has hit the Imperium pretty bad, whereas the Emperor during the Great Crusade was preaching the imperial truth.
Right.
He wanted humans to cast off the shackles of religion, worship themselves, basically. So that ideology was very, I would say it's kind of like the beginning phase of the Russian Revolution, when then it became the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
And then, so that would be the Great Crusade era. And then the actual 42nd millennium right now would be when the Soviet Union was at its, I wouldn't say peak, but when Stalin had power and everything seemed to be oppressed and there was corruption. Not that there isn't corruption in other places, but yeah.
Yeah, I get you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But that was a very interesting question, very geopolitical.
Yeah. We don't want to do the same thing that happened last time where we took way too long to answer one question.
Yeah, so let's get on with another one. This one is also by Erock9. His question is, given how every Primarch came to be a living representation of the planet they landed on, what world would you have liked to see gets its own Primarch, and what would you like it to be like? I've always said that 40K does not have enough representation when it comes to water worlds or anything like that, like aquatic nature. So it'd be really cool to have a Primarch that specializes underwater battle or something like that. Have space marines can already breathe underwater, but just have that aesthetic to their armor, their weapons, that kind of thing would be pretty cool.
Yeah, kind of like the Aquaman.
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah, because I think it's Aquaman, right? With the Jason
Momoa.
Yeah. Because in that one, have you seen the ending, the end battle? Mm-hmm. One of the best battles I've ever seen. It's just all these different creatures fighting each other, and half of them look like space marines.
Yeah,
especially the crab ones. I would imagine that's what Terminator armor 4 down in the deep blue sea. That's what it would look like.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because everything's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me.
There you go.
# Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
What about you? What planet would you want?
just because we're going to stay on the topic of elements, or you said water, I think it'd be really cool to do air and create like more of a, because you know how like Space Marines have the Raven Guard?
Yeah.
So like kind of like that, where like the Raven Guard are what is it called? Like flyers and whatnot.
Yeah, they have. They've got like the Seraphim or Zephyr, or whatever it's called, that jet bike.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say like caves and stuff like that, but like there's nothing to it.
It's Vulcan.
Yeah, smiths, volcanoes, forges, that type of thing.
But that is a really cool concept, though. Like if you are home brewing and you need some advice, take the elements. The elements probably can do you could do a lot with the elements. What is it? Earth, wind, fire. Yeah. The Last Avatar. Next question.
This one's by Scribblenot45. Since the orcs believe that the Emperor is too badass to die, could it be possible that perhaps the Golden Throne doesn't even work, and the orcs are the one keeping humanity alive?
No, there's like, we get this question asked a lot, and it's like some variation of like, if the orcs believe it, then why can't they affect the Emperor? I don't know how that connection is made. I wonder if it's like the text-to-speech device type of like, what is it called, meme or
like the satire?
Yeah. But yeah, no, the orcs don't really affect the Emperor at all. And the WAAAGH energy works a little bit different. It's really, in my mind, it's just probability. I feel like I say this all the time. Next question.
Super Soldier says, when will you guys talk about what it would be like for Tzeentch and Slaanesh to invade real space? I'm looking forward to hearing you guys answer my questions. Thank you so much.
I'm struggling to find time to like write, and then when I do, it takes me a really long time to get something done. Like, I've been on the Nurgle lore theme for a month when it was just supposed to be a week. So I'm getting to it. I just need to like get through that writer's block and find time.
Yeah. Because when it comes to chaos gods entering real space, like they do it through their demons. And essentially the demons are a part of the grander god. So it's kind of like Tzeentch and Khorne and Slaanesh coming into real space. But if a god were to enter real space, like things would get so messed up. Yeah. Because like you can't even fathom a god.
There's no time and space. So.
Right. So it's like, how do you perceive something like that? Are warp rifts, like the Cicatrix Maledictum, like maybe a finger of a chaos god or something like that? Like, how is it going to affect things? And like, how effed up will everybody be at the end?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah. Next question comes from D. I think you should continue your discussion from today's question. Tomorrow, will you do that? That was the long ass question, right?
That was the one where he had a whole War of the Greater Wall focused on one question.
I really did notice that, like, technology wise, you can talk about the technology of the Imperium for a really long time. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, which, funny enough, like, I feel like the technology of the 42nd millennium, which is what the game is being played in, like, currently via that era, is more interesting than the one during the Great Crusade. Because there's a lot of, like, I don't know, it just seems more fantastical now in the current era than it did back then.
Yeah, even though back then, like, things were, like, crazy.
Like, oh, yeah, super powerful. Yeah. But they were, like, wrapped up in reality. Like, they had biological weapons, they had nuclear weapons, they had all that kind of stuff.
Now it's like, we got nuclear weapons powered by chaos. Yeah. So it's, like, more fantastical. Yeah. This next question is by Brian B. Did the Ultramarines go through some sort of psychic backlash following Fulgrim stabbing Guilliman? So basically, after the whole Horus Heresy debacle, Fulgrim and Guilliman went mano a mano, and Guilliman got his throat slit by a poison blade to the point where he was gonna die if nothing happened. So they decided to put him on stasis so that he wouldn't die. So by having a mortal wound inflicted on your Primarch, normally that doesn't really have some backlash to it. It's mostly like the death of a Primarch that does that, such as the Black Rage when Sanguinius died. But yeah, as far as I know, nothing of the sort happened with the Ultramarines.
Right. Yep. And then we'll do one last question. Do you have something?
Yeah, this one's a interesting one by Zoe Glass. What's more probable? Could a dipped Portillo beef wake the Emperor, remove the butcher's nails, or reverse a WAAAGH?
I think it could reverse a WAAAGH for sure. I don't think it could awaken the Emperor.
No, I don't think he likes dripping wet things. Being bones and everything, he's more of like the high and dry type, and if he gets wet, he'll probably just like dissolve.
Yeah, even though he could use the grease as moisturizer.
That's true, I guess. The butcher's nails, it depends how dipped it is.
Yeah, because like if you don't like mushy bread, that's just going to make you angrier.
Yeah.
And then the butcher's nails become even worse.
They get even deeper.
But yeah, those are the questions for today. Thank you guys so much for sending those questions our way, and thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
That's right. And this has been The Sound Alchemist.
Gershwin.
And we are out.